Hey everybody, it's Delana. My YouTube channel is about everything luxury real estate, buying, selling, designing, rehabbing, everything in between. So I just had a quick story for you guys about a transaction that I had. We had been selling this house for a long time. I think it was almost 2 years. We started at, well, he had started at $14 million the year before we had the listing. So it was listed at 14 million. This house, he had about 14 million into this house. So a lot of the elements to the house were imported from Europe. So he had the Versailles parquet flooring from a castle in France. He had the beams came from France. The cabinetry came from London, Christian Clive cabinetry. Anyways, it's just over the top finishes in this house. So he had $14 million into this house, and he obviously wanted to get the money back out of it. And at that time, not a lot of homes were selling at the $14 million mark. I think we had the highest resale at that time, and it was 17.5 million, and it was a much larger house. So anyways, when we finally got the listing, we kind of talked him down under the 10 million mark. So we felt it was more sellable. And then we had it on for a year. We dropped the price, I think, down to 9 million. So this has been a long process, and we finally had this broker's open in the neighborhood. We had a guy come in and he's like, oh my gosh, I love this house. I have to have this house. And we're just like jumped right on it. When you have a buyer, you have to jump on it and you got to make it work. He's like, I love this house, but I'd love to buy it, but I just bought a car, I have a house, I just can't afford it. So anyways, we kind of started brainstorming from there. So I just want to quickly take you guys through the house and show you how we worked out this transaction at the end. So stay tuned. So this is the house here that I want to take you through. It's again a French country farmhouse in the middle of the desert. Beautiful property. It was made by Argue Custom Homes. Tom Argue is a good friend of mine. Every property he does is just over the top, spectacular. So this did not disappoint whatsoever. This house was 14,313 square feet on 2-acre lot. This is a long drive. It had a beautiful long driveway that kind of cascaded all the way up to the front door. You had a 4-car garage, 2 and 2 on either side. This beautiful grand entrance with this limestone staircase that kind of came up. It was just very romantic feel to this entry of this house with the chandelier. And as you walk through the front door, you look straight through to this great room. This great room had 20-foot ceilings. It had those old wood beams that were imported. It had a white oak floor, reclaimed floors, wood floors throughout. This pewter countertop on the wet bar there, just spectacular, really pretty bar. So you had the bar on one side, the fireplace, and then you have your living room on the other side. And this is the kitchen here. Those cabinets were imported from London, from Clive Christian. High-end appliances throughout the whole entire kitchen. They had an appliance garage. They also had a little breakfast nook here. Again, pewter countertops throughout. And as you walk down that little hallway here, we get into the formal dining room. It had a limestone fireplace at the end there, and this beautiful wine cellar that was temperature controlled. And as you come from that kitchen, you walk down into this little TV area, living room, and these doors just open up, and it's just a spectacular English garden. It was just so pretty the way it was all set out. Kind of English gardens, they don't make any sense, but they do make sense because they're just pretty, and there's no rhyme or reason to where everything is placed, but just really pretty English garden. So you had out in the patio, you had your barbecue on one end, and then you had a fireplace that kind of came up from the bar on the other end. So as we go down this long hallway here, we're headed towards the primary bedroom with the those wood beams, reclaimed wood beams. You had your reclaimed oak flooring, and you walked into this gorgeous bathroom. It was a moment. When you walk through, like, it was a moment to see this washroom and the pewter bathtub. Also had an exercise room attached to the primary suite with a really nice sauna, which was just a great feature to add to this house. This was the office, and here we have the Versailles parquet flooring, which was it was imported from a castle from France. Every time I came here, I just loved it. As you go up that spiral staircase, you hit the game room. They also had a library here. This was their daughter's room, and if you look closely to the closet door there, they had actually bought that door from Market in Paris. That door was like $25,000. And again, the outside of this house, just very light and bright house throughout. This is your little hot tub. This little path here is going to take you straight through to the casita. You have a bedroom on one side, you have kind of a living room on the other side, so a 2-room casita with a full bath. It also had their own little patio with a fireplace, which is great for any guest to visit. And this neighborhood is part of a golf course called Silverleaf Golf Course, and it was designed by Tom Weiskorf. It's like 7,300 yards of golf course, kind of situated right smack in the middle of the desert. Just a really pretty course, very challenging, but it did have different levels and tee boxes and stuff. But I thought it was very challenging. It's a very challenging course, and it just views everywhere from this course. It's just a great course to play. Just a lot of fun, and to be a part of this neighborhood is just grand. Everything in this neighborhood is grand, from the golf course to the homes. This is a nighttime view of the home. The city light views were just gorgeous from this house. It was like, that's what sent our buyer over the top, like, I have to have this house. So just to see those city light views and to experience the feel of living in this house, I think the nighttime views is kind of what drew him over the top. So we were like, he wants to have this house, he needs to have this house, how are we going to work? And we need to obviously sell this house. So how are we going to put this together? So what we ended up doing, the car he bought was actually a Bugatti. The Bugatti was $1.2 million, and his house we had valued at about $2.3 million, and he was going to buy this property for $8.5 million. So we convinced our seller to take the Bugatti and take the house as a down payment, and he would mortgage the $5 million. So that is what we did. So he actually took the Bugatti. We had to drive it to him. He took the Bugatti. We ended up getting the listing on the house, the buyer's house, and we sold that pretty quickly. And we credited the seller $2.3 million for the home, and we actually sold it for 2.6. So he did really well on this. And the buyer ended up getting a house. So everybody was happy in this transaction. Our seller kind of walked away with actually $8.8 million, and we had it listed at $9 million, so pretty close to ask. So he was very happy, and our buyer was very happy. We ended up selling this house again. When the buyer ended up selling the house, we got the listing again. So I actually sold this house twice. I love it. I know this house inside and out. It is a beautiful, timeless home. You know, you think about this house was built in 2008, and at that time everything was very dark and Tuscany, and this house just, for me, stood out. It's just beautiful, timeless. I think in 10 years from now we could go to this house and it would just look grand. And every time I've sold it furnished. So, well, I've sold it twice. Each time was furnished. So anyways, if you get a buyer, hold on tight, make it work. Kind of, it's like putting pieces of a puzzle together. If you can make it work, make it work. Like I said, we had this house listed for a long time. So when our buyer walked in, we knew he loved it, and we just had to make it work, and that's how we made it work. He ended up having no cash, but ended up buying an $8.5 million house, just for being creative. So anyways, I'm new to this YouTube thing. I've got plenty more stories to tell and new listings coming up that I'd love to show you. So please like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon.